right, good evening, everybody. Justin and
Hello.
Alicia Enquist here with the Justin and Alicia Show. We're excited to be with you this Sunday night. We missed you again on Thursday. I was at an investor meeting that night late, and actually I forgot to give a notice. But we're here tonight, and we wanted to go ahead and not miss the opportunity to kind of share with you a little bit from our lives. And, we just want to be real. Honestly, when I talked to you earlier about we're going to be doing something tonight, I put on there that it was a secret message. The reason why I did, should I tell him? I can't keep a secret. Hey, Christopher, how you doing, man? But it's a secret message because we didn't even know what we were going to say.
There's just so much.
I know. I mean, it's either there's so much, and that's the problem. It's either there's too much, and so you don't know where to start, so it's like you don't say anything. But, we're going to go ahead and touch on a quick topic that we've been going through firsthand, even today, in a way that we didn't even expect. But
You're not really going to talk about today, are you?
I know. Well, what else fails if you can't know anything else to talk about? You talk about what's going on in the moment, right?
All right.
But what is it to have a victim mentality? And it seems like this is like just rampant in our society, our culture, and people.
Yes.
Is a victim mentality. It seems like everyone feels like life happens to them, or they're like the butt of life getting trampled over. Or they're the brunt of all calamity or disaster, right?
Now, there is some bad stuff that happens, and
There is.
But
there is literal victims. We want to honestly put a prayer to those right now down in, I think it's Alabama, that had, I think there's like 14 people confirmed dead from tornadoes and storms. And, that's tragic. And we do pray for them and the first responders down there. And, but even with that, that's the fallen world we live in. And but what about everyday life, and when we feel like we never feel like anything good comes our way?
right.
Or we are susceptible to feeling like a victim all the time. And so basically we live almost in a trapped cage or in a prison, in a prison of our own mind, our own thoughts, controlled by our environment, controlled by everything around us.
Yes.
And that's what we're talking about. It's like it's a natural response that so many of us have been brought up in, that most people, the average people out there, that's all they think about. And so guess what? That's all they see. That's all they notice is the bad things. Think about it. Think about yourself. If someone were to ask you, hey man, or lady, or gal, or sister, whatever it is, how you doing? What's going on right now? Or what's happening? What's the thing that we most of the time turn to is, oh my God, this is awful. This happened, and this happened, and this happened. And she did this to me, and I ran into this. I had a little fender bender here. Or it's raining. Typically all we focus on is all the bad things that are happening to us.
Right.
Isn't that true?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And stuff. And so there is such a thing. It's an epidemic out there, being a victim mentality. In fact, everyone, what does that breed? That breeds the fact that you're constantly trying to, defend yourself, protect yourself, or attack back. Everyone's in attack mode. Hey, Debbie, how you doing? Good to see you tonight. And Scott, good to see you this evening, sir. And so, if you're a victim, then there's no way that you're going to be able to, be creative. There's no way that you're going to be able to really make lasting impact in a positive way. You're not going to be able to, if you're constantly playing defense,
right.
How are you ever going to score points or make yards, or, you're going to become, you're going to be being pushed back and back and back. And you may hold your ground, but you're not going to ever achieve any higher level of experience or success or influence to people around you, right?
That's right.
And so what's an example is, we've been thinking about this whole victim mentality and thinking about it comes in many ways. One way that we experienced it today in a live way is, today's Sunday, and we go to church on Sunday mornings. And so, we had someone going to be coming over after church for lunch and going to be spending the afternoon with us. Someone who had asked to get with us and want some counsel and just wanted to be able to have some thoughts on their business and life and different things. So, it is important. And we actually invited this person to come to church and visit with us for the first time. Someone who didn't regularly go to church. And so, it's important we be there. Well, guess what? Usually Sunday mornings are okay. And usually, we're ready to go and we get there early or at least on time. But this morning, of all mornings, I don't know. It's like all of a sudden, last minute, within the last 15 minutes before we were supposed to leave, it seemed like all hell broke loose. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, all of a sudden, the kids were going crazy. There was a miscommunication between Alicia and I, and she had a miscommunication that maybe she wasn't going to be going. And I was like, "What? Where'd you get that from?" And anyways, it was weird.
And you know how with 4 kids, the house isn't always clean, and usually we're able to, just it's okay. But when somebody's coming over, like you want your house to be nice, and so we kind of blew up about that. And anyway, it was not good.
Yeah, I mean, so that was all of a sudden, we both felt like we were victims. We felt we were being attacked. We felt like, we were in defensive mode all of a sudden. We were like, it was just a strange feeling, and that was obviously a spiritual warfare attack from the enemy. Because, he does, the devil comes to steal, kill, and destroy. And he obviously didn't like what we were doing, for one, going to church. Number 2, inviting someone else to come to church who needs to have a, spiritual influence and just encouragement. And number 3, the fact that we're trying to get ready to actually help minister to someone in the afternoon and spend time to, input truth in their life and give them some guidance and assistance. And so that's the kind of stuff that happens, though. Spiritual warfare, that's just one type of victim that, if we aren't alert to it and aware of it, and if we just give in to it, that, so in that situation, when her and I were kind of at each other, we were supposed to be going to church, right, to worship God. And the last thing we wanted to do is go to church. For real. But, I was like, this is not right. We got to do this, and yes, you got to go. And we'll come back. If we have to clean up when we get back, we'll do it.
Okay.
But we need to go. This is important. And so we went ahead and went, and we overcame it. We battled. We went ahead, and we just did what we knew to do was right. We didn't just give up. We didn't stop. We didn't say, forget it.
Right.
We'll just do it next week. But we went, and you know what? It was an awesome service. It was an awesome, encouraging music, message on hope. And it was just like all of a sudden we could see that we had conquered. We had overcome. God had overcome. His truth had overcome.
The victim.
And we weren't the victim. We felt like it. We almost became it. We could have become the victim. And thankfully, Alicia and I, we were able to make up whatever miscommunication was there between us and kind of make sure we're on the same page. But even that was something that God did. And because he's a God of love, power, love, and a sound mind. And so the victim mentality can be affected from our mind, our thoughts, but it can also come through circumstances and from other people. I once heard someone say, I think it was Gandhi, he said, "I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet." I will not let anyone walk through my mind with their dirty feet. And I'll tell you, there's so many people trying to walk through our minds and just muddy us up and trying to stomp us down and keep us, feeling like we're no good, feeling like there's nothing we can offer, or that we're hopeless and helpless. And that's the farthest from the truth.
That's right. This is something that I've been, just in a very practical way too, battling. Little things like, I don't have enough time. There's too much to do. There's, just all the little victim things, a mom with 4 kids, like it's out of my control and it's just too much and I can't keep up with everything and I don't have enough time and all these things, and like nipping them in the bud. I'm not always perfect at it, but rather than letting those mold, like that's not true. God gave me 24 hours. We all have 24 hours. We all have and yes, I can. Not everything may get done, but just taking those thoughts captive and stopping them rather than letting them mull and just keep, spiraling down. Stop and say no. And there's been times I've purposely out loud just said, no, I have time. Or no, I am going to clean the house. Or no, this doesn't matter, or whatever it is, but just, stopping the thoughts, because that's really,
so it comes down to, so what is a practical way? How do we deal with real life victim problems and things that come our way? Because, there is literal things, like if you're a victim of circumstances, then that means something could come in and totally derail your whole schedule. Here you have a whole plan for the day, for the weekend. We had not too long ago in our last snowstorm. We had a day all planned of things that we were planning on doing that we needed to do.
It was a normal work day.
And then this snowstorm a couple weeks ago, out of the blue, it was supposed to be something small, no big deal. But next thing we knew, it was a big enough deal where schools were closing, the roads were nasty, and we were like, it kind of was really frustrating at first and stuff. But then we just, so all of a sudden we were creeping down, or we were being pushed down the victim mentality, the victim mode, right? all of a sudden we just stopped, we looked at each other and said, you know what? No, we choose right now to take a snow day. And we're going to take this time off, we're going to focus on the kids, we're going to have fun, we're just going to enjoy it, we're going to make the most of it. And that decision to not be a victim, but to actually take that circumstance and turn it around. We didn't change the circumstance.
Right.
We just turned around our perspective on it, and we used the circumstances in our favor, and didn't let it
And we
totally
decided
disrupt
what we were going to do.
ourselves. Yeah. And so we went with it. So we changed our plan, and we said, okay, what kind of plan can we do that would actually benefit in this kind of circumstance? That would be in our benefit, our favor. And it turned out to be an awesome day. We had a great time with the kids. We got some stuff done still. But it was a whole mentality shift, you know? And it was like a switch. Nothing changed. The snowstorm happened, you know, we didn't get our business stuff done we wanted to do. But all of a sudden, we felt like winners, warriors, conquerors. We conquered it. We had a great time. And it wasn't a wasted time. In fact, it was very, I wish I had known about that earlier and I could have put it on the calendar and the schedule. It had been a great addition to add to our life at that time.
Because before we chose that, we felt guilty. We should have been up in the office, but you know, the kids are asking and you're just in this in between, like, what should we do? And it feels inside you, just feel like, ah!
Yeah, the problem is when you're a victim in any circumstance, then you completely feel misplaced anywhere else. Doesn't matter what happens, you just feel off.
Right.
And that happens so many times. I mean, if you feel like a victim at work, like you're trapped at work when you should be with your kids, then you're going to feel when you're with the kids and the family, you're going to feel like a victim, like you're trapped. You should be at work.
Right.
And it's so crazy how we can just live in this frustrated mode and never really to be able to be fully, fully engaged or be able to enjoy and benefit from present in the experience or where we're at with who we're at and stuff. And so think about that victim mentality. So what's a practical step that you can take when you feel like a victim? When circumstances, when life happens and stuff. What we found is just stop and just choose to do the thing that you're being forced to do. But you choose it.
Right.
Don't feel like you're being forced to do it. Don't allow yourself to be forced to do anything. I mean, here's kind of an extreme example. And I'm going to remember the story. I'm going to get it here so I can give you every fact. But the summary of the story is there's a story of this monk who was out in the woods, and he didn't have many earthly possessions on him. He had a couple things. Had his cup, his valuable cup, and a valuable knife. And anyways, this armed robber attacked him. And this robber came and forced him. He was known to kill, and he's a real murderer. And so this monk, thought he was a goner, thought he was going to be dead. Anyways, robber came and stopped and just demanded that he give him everything he had, or give him anything of value. And so, the monk, he obviously gave him this valuable cup, but he had this knife, really valuable knife, hid on him. And so the robber thought he had taken all he had, and he just decided to go ahead and leave him and go. Well, then the monk stopped and said, "Hey, you forgot something. I got something else." And he just went all out and he said, "Here, this is valuable too. You're going to probably want this." Well, it was that act of turning that victim mentality, which everyone else would have been like trying to hide all they had and been trying to fight back or been cowering in fear. He was just bold because he was just calm. He was confident, and he took control of his situation. And when that robber saw this monk hand out this crazy expensive, valuable dagger or knife, that he was shocked, and he stopped, and then he came, and he repented, or he felt conviction, and he dropped down on his knees, and he said, "Father, here's your mug, here's your knife. Why? Here's things I stole from you. Take them back." And the monk said, "I'm not going to take them back. I gave those to you as a gift. Those are for you. All I say is just, go and go and sin no more, or go change your way." And it was an act of turning that victim mentality into becoming a conqueror, taking it and turning it on its head, and actually taking the day that he completely changed the outcome of that circumstance and changed that person who was trying to take advantage of him, and totally changed his life because of that act. And so, that's that's an extreme situation. But I've had situations where, for whatever reason, one morning, I always try to get up early, And I've been trying to get up consistently, and so when I don't get up early, I have a tendency to feel guilty or feel bad or feel like a victim, right? Feel like a victim, like, I failed, oh my God, I can never get this. And so, thoughts run through your head. And so I remember, a while back, I had a morning where I didn't quite feel good. And so I was, the alarm clock had just gone off, and I was sitting there struggling, feeling like a victim because I didn't really feel too good, I felt kind of off. But yet I knew I needed to get up, and I was already feeling like a loser and a failure. And then it was all of a sudden right there, I clicked in my mind and said, you know what? No. I am making a decision that is more important for me at this moment that I'm going to get a little more sleep. And I'm going to allow myself to sleep, and I'm going to get up an hour later. And for whether that was good or bad, whether you think it's good and bad, it doesn't matter. I made that choice, that decision. And guess what? I felt great. That little extra sleep was awesome. I didn't feel like a loser. I got up. I adjusted my schedule. I still did what I needed to do. But, I could have got up earlier. Maybe I would have been okay. Or maybe I wouldn't have. Or I could have just said, screw it, slept in, and then felt like a loser. And said, I gave in again, or whatever it is, But instead, in my mind, I took it and changed it and said, no, I choose to do this. And so that's some practical ways how you can turn that victim mentality into becoming a victor, and becoming the master, and taking control of the circumstances. Because you can't change the circumstances, but you can change your response. You can change how you respond, you let them affect you.
And just your perception of it again, because again, so much is in the mind. And so when we perceive that we're the victim compared to, looking at situations as, number one, seeing that God was sovereign in this, that he allowed it, for us, for those of us who are saved, he's promised that he's going to use all things together for good. And so, no, we're not a victim in those, God used it, God is using it, and just changing our mindset about it, it really does. It's so powerful. This changes everything.
Yeah, well, see, the fact of the matter is the victim mentality is the cop-out. It's the easy way to go. Basically, if you're a victim, that means you're captured, you're taken under the control of something or someone else. And then they can dictate what you do, where you go. And so guess what? Life gets easy. And so that's why a lot of people do it. That's why they like it, because their choices are made for them. And so the problem is that no one else has your best interest in mind, especially the enemy. And especially, most everyone else, they're not out for your best. Only God is, is one that can be trusted with making decisions for your life. But if you're wanting to, get to the next level, if you're wanting to be live the abundant life, if you're wanting to be influential and really, live life to the fullest, then you cannot be a victim. You have to be a conqueror. You have to overcome. And that's where we're at. That's the message for the night. It's a daily walk, a daily struggle. It's each adventure or each opportunity, each day is an opportunity to make those choices, make those decisions. And but it's something that we all have to make. And so think about that. Think about what is your default response, your default position, in life when things happen to you. Are you one that sees, the glass half full or the glass half empty? The way you should see the glass is refillable. And so see it as, hey, this glass can be filled over and over and over again. And so I want to use it and use it and use it. That's the mindset, to have the above average, life and lifestyle experience.
Good.
Right?
That's good.
And so, think about that. Think about, be prepared, watch for it, because life's going to happen.
Exactly.
Stuff's going to happen. Circumstances are going to happen.
Promise you.
People are going to happen. We live in a fallen world. What do you expect? Why do you expect something that's decaying and fallen and that's already in a negative, I guess, field to perform positive things? I mean, we should be like shocked, when something positive happens, or be excited, be looking for those things and say, it's nothing new if something negative happens. Instead, we're always like shocked when all the bad things happen. How can this happen to me? Or how can that happen to good people? Or what's the deal? And then, when something good happens, we feel like, we deserve it, or we feel like that, well, duh, And so I don't know. It's just something to think about. We're not there yet. We don't have all the things figured out.
I think gratefulness plays a big part of this too. As we're staying ahead of the game. We're grateful. We're positive. We're trusting, we have hope, we have, you know, you're just, whatever comes isn't going to knock you out when you're, you know, above that, just staying above it.
Yep. So we just want to remind you tonight to just remember the power of your mind. Remember the power you have to change your situation that you find yourself, whether you're going to be a victim or you're going to be a victorious conqueror.
That's right.
And it's up to you. You know, you can be free. You can be free in your mind, in which that freedom will then give you, you know, wisdom and give you the opportunity, give you what you need to get out of whatever physical situation you find yourself in. You know, that's the first step. Because if you don't have the clarity of mind, if you don't have the confidence, if you don't have the direction, then, you know, you're not going to do anything. Because your belief determines your behavior.
That's right.
You know, what you actually believe is what you're going to do. You can say whatever you want all the time, but, you know, what you actually believe is what you're going to do in your actions and stuff. So all we say is don't be a victim. Let's go out and conquer. Let's live the abundant life. You know, let's go out there and be adventurous, be confident. And so we encourage you with that. So anyway, it's good to see you, Brett and Todd. Hope you guys are doing good. And everyone else out there, we'd love to get some comments from you. Love to have you share this with other people. And of course, we always like, you know, interaction from as many people as possible. So we appreciate you. Hope this is a help. Hope this is something that you can take and use. And have a great week. And we'll try to get with you on this next Thursday night. Otherwise, we'll make up on the weekend and stuff. But, you know, we want to keep this conversation going. So have a great night. Thank you.
Blessings in your week.